Wonderful. So Garden River is over here. Got that. No other tuning. I mean, there are some more scenarios that we're adding in as well. There are 3 new scenarios we're going to play, but we're just going to play a regular map. Garden Rivers. I don't know what order this is in. We are going to name the city. Well, we can change the name once we're in the game, right? But, you know, maybe it's worth thinking about. Let me bring up the list of subscribers. I don't know if we're going to want to name the city itself after a subscriber or just like streets and districts and things like that. We'll see exactly how we do. Let's go ahead and just start up, and we'll think about it as we get started. Maybe what will happen as we start to develop our city, people in the chat will have an excellent suggestion probably of what to name the city, and then we'll name the city that, and then use subscriber names for districts and things like we normally do. I think that's probably the best way to do things. What's tropical for Tropical 5? Haha! Greentopia? We'll see. Alright, so did enable the option to unlock all milestones right from the start. So all buildings are unlocked right away. And you do get the milestone money, so you do start with a bunch of cash, but it's very deceptive. Because all the milestones are unlocked, it means right from the start of the game you have to worry about crime, fire, health, garbage, all those things. So you have to put in all the city services right from the beginning before you have an income. So we're probably going to be hitting like negative $20,000 a week in our income, and we're gonna have to hopefully get things to work out so that we end up with enough money before we go completely bankrupt. So we'll cross our fingers and see how it goes. Now, I think I am going to start actually by buying an extra land tile over here, because I really want to build along the coast. One of the things I didn't really do, and this is throwing back to the, like the disaster expansion, I think, is where they added a lot of stuff to do the waterway stuff. And I never got around to doing that. So I want to do that here. I want to do waterway-ish kind of stuff. If at all possible. I want to build right on the shore. And that's what I want to do. I want to build all along these rivers. That's going to be the emphasis over here. Maybe very little inland. Or inland is probably going to be where we do some of our industrial stuff, for example. But all of our housing and commercial areas is going to go there. We'll get a lot of docks, fishing docks, you know, marina type stuff all along the coastline over here, which is why I decided, you know what, I think the tropical sort of scenario is going to go well. So, yeah, maybe Brussels, maybe Sprouts, maybe something about Tropico. We'll see. So, over in the landscaping tools, there is the option over here for various water structures, including the K. And I will pronounce this the K because that's how we pronounce it here. Everyone, and like finding out only like, you know, a few years ago that like Americans especially, not everywhere, it depends where you are, different English-speaking countries, different areas of different people. Some people pronounce this key. I'm like, what the fuck? Key? No, what? No, it's a K. Obviously, what is wrong with you? Anyway, so done. It's gonna be. Can I not rename the city from here? K-Town. Deal with it. Done. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm French or something. I have no idea, but I mean, that's just the way it is. So, one of the toughest parts with doing this is getting it right on the coast. And building it in such a way that you can then run a road right along it. It's a lot easier if you use the straits, and that's one of the things. With the other map I was going to do, the Eden Valley or whatever, the river's quite a lot straighter, so you can just use the straight building tool. But I think with this, we might have to use the freeform tool and do our best. I'm not as worried about putting down the K. I'm worried about doing the road alongside it, but we're gonna try to see what we can do. It's probably just because that's how I pronounce it in French. All right. But there we go. We're going to Frenchify this thing up. So here, we weren't quite as close to the water as we might like. But what we can do later is we can go and lower this down a wee bit. K origin is from Old French K and New French K, hence Squillatine. The French pronunciation is the correct one. It's not correct. I'm not arguing that mine is correct. I'm arguing that I'm not wrong. That's often the thing with pronunciation, right? To say that one way is absolutely and, you know, inextricably, that's not, I'm not saying that one word, right, which is kind of ironic. I'm also not using the right word. But to say that one is absolutely correct is absolutely wrong. So there you go. Now, with these, I don't think people can walk along these or anything like that, right? You don't get any traffic on this. It looks cool, which is the idea here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use roads. Now, I am going to do trams everywhere. I think I will wait until we have a few more people. I think I'm going to go and I'm going to build just regular 4-lane roads over here for avenues. We will upgrade them to the trams later because it's quite a bit more expensive to build, quite a bit more to upkeep, and we're very worried about going bankrupt early on. So the idea is we're going to check to see who the hell exploded me just then. Lurking Ninjacom, thank you very much. It's not a name I'm used to seeing. Thank you for inspiring us with Quill18 Creates. You made me go back to programming games. Here's some for the fun. If you like Irish, try the Writer's Tears Whiskey. First of all, it is good stuff. I totally agree with you. Secondly, it possibly is the single greatest name of any whiskey ever. Writer's Tears. That's just brilliant. That's just unbelievable. Try saying that to Data. Well, that's different. That's a name, right? That's how you choose to pronounce your name. It's not that Data is the wrong way to pronounce that word. It's that that's not his name. Good, excellent reference, though. Excellent reference. So, nice thing is there is a bit of a snapping here with the road. Now, there's two ways that we could do this, right? What we could do is we could build the road far enough away so that we can get buildings here with the back to the K. The problem with that, and I was doing a little test earlier, is if you do that, while it's quite cool for those buildings, if you do go afterwards and put your things like your docks and whatever, they will complain that they don't have a road connection. They need an actual road connection. You can't just get a path out there or anything like that. So it seems to me that the best way to work this is to build, say, your avenue right on the border over here. And yeah, see, it's going to be tricky to sort of get everything to follow the curve as much as possible. But we seem to be doing an okay job over here. I want it as close as possible. Not having this be straight is going to be a little hard to work with in some bits. But I think we're going to be all right. You see, it's like a little inconsistent with some of the spacing. And actually, that's going to be... We may have to redo... Let me redo this, actually. So this could add up a little bit. I don't have to do the entire thing right now. There we go. That's not too bad. The reason I'm worried about the space is because... And the reason it's so much easier to do if you just had this straight is... What we can do after is take a path over here. Turn off snapping. That'll help. Click here, and I've tried a couple of different ways. I think as close as possible to road seems to look best. Like that, and what you end up with is a nice walking path along the road, a little bit of sand over here, and then this. And I think it looks really nice. I mean, I realize that we're playing Green Cities and we're, paving a lot of stuff. But I think that random strip of grass does not look very appealing. And now all of a sudden it feels like you're really developing your waterfront. And then you follow that up with, again, these buildings. And that is close enough to this road that it counts as being connected. So cars can stop here and park and people can go and use those things, or people with taxi stops. So I think that's going to be nice. Increasing localized instability in the curvature of the road indicates you need longer path. I understood some of those words. You should really do the curves manually if you want to follow it correctly. I mean, I am using like the freeform road as opposed to the curve tool. So that's the idea. So we'll have to spot things. So I'm a little worried that we might be a little too tight there. We might have to go and change that around. On the other hand, you know what? This is actually completely reasonable and realistic that there's going to be some portions where it's not necessarily level for a variety of different reasons, and that's okay. So people can't necessarily walk up and down over here. You know what? That's probably fine. You need the mod to move it. Is there mod to like move something after you put it down? Move it tool. Makes it easy to adjust things the way you want. Really? Green Cities 01. I'm installing a mod. I've never used the move it tool. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Hopefully it's all compatible. Move, is it, oh, move it, all one word? Move, space, it, space, oh no, there's two of them. There's one with 5 stars by Sam TS. Move, space, it, exclamation mark. Alright, well subscribe to this. So that is done. I'll hit play and I'll reactivate the mod. As long as the mod is added to your stream list. Yes, you're right. I will do that, Essentia. I will add this mod to my collection of City Skylines mods. Which it's a great and handy thing to do with things that support that. Okay, oops, I need to enable. Is it going to be, there it is. Move it. There are options. M, arrows. Sure. Okay, we can make use of that. Load Green Cities 01. Yes, cool man, I saw that. Now, I might still leave that section there, because I think it's totally reasonable to have it. But I think it's going to be handy to have this mod for other places where I want there to be a path and it turns out to be too slim. On the other hand, if I did nudge this one over, because right now there would be a break in the path of walking along the coast. And that might not be great. And this... So, okay. So, M? Ooh. Oh my god, that's so easy! Oh my god, that is the greatest! You just hit M, you mouse over something, and then hit your arrow keys. And it moves this shit. Thank you! Oh my god, you guys are awesome. Okay, so we don't know what we're still going to do there. Are we paused? We are not paused. We need to be paused so that we don't spend too much money. So you know what? This little curl here looks a little bit sucky. So let's maybe straighten it out just a little bit. I want it to be close enough that we don't get a really big gap in our path, but it seems all right. And then, yeah, the big question will be here. So I guess, let's tell you what. Let's keep working. I don't think this is very expensive to develop this. Let's keep working on our little walking path over here. Oh, turn off snapping. Is there a hotkey? Is it like S or something? There's probably a hotkey to turn off snapping. Someone in chat's gonna know. There's gonna be a little green there. That might be a sign that, you know, well, it is a sign that we're slightly too far away. And here we're too close. If I want to continue it all the way. Also, I'm using the wrong type of path. So over here, if we grab you and nudge you a little closer, and here we bring you a little further away, then that might be able to do. We're going to come back. Can we come back to that? We sort of have to get this right in the first place, because I assume if we start nudging the road after we've got like buildings and districts and stuff, things are going to get all befuddled. And I know there's a doot. I will, oops, load that up in a second. Oh, maybe I can just move that one. Alright, if I move. Oh my god, that makes it so much easier. Ha 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 ha. Love it. Well, we can squeeze that through. Okay, this is probably all alright over here. Might have to get nudged. The path will have to get nudged a little bit, that's okay. Or the road over here. I can nudge that down a little closer, since clearly things are okay. I think this mod also allows you to, like, move things into some sort of, like, somewhat overlappy position as well. I think people use it to make some fancy highway stuff. There we go. All right. Okay, I'm gonna say that our main road here is pretty okay. I'd like this to look a little straighter. I mean, mostly it's because of this. It's okay. What do you think? Watch this Quill move stuff for a few hours. I mean, I've watched the Kiss for Luck play this game, which is just like super slow motion awesomeness of placing all the things. So that's gonna be sort of the start. I'm gonna have a second avenue going sort of parallel to it. Not, you know, not literally the same curve, but basically another one. And I think I'm gonna place it down right away. And again, these are all gonna get be tram lined later on. But there's no point in doing it now. I want enough space in between for two reasons. One, I'm gonna put a whack ton of trees in between there. And yeah, they don't have to follow the same curvature. They could actually, like, have a slight inconsistency in their spacing, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So we can put green spaces in here, and the other advantage is that when we do cross streets, they'll be far enough apart that there's going to be enough room for some of the traffic to go in. Is this going to be the poop lake? Well, we're going to... Unfortunately, it's going to have to be for a little bit, probably, until we get more of our money going down. In terms of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these two highways. We're going to have them just merged into a 6-lane road. That runs probably something like this, and it'll go off somewhere else, and it might serve into some industrial zones or some damn thing. I think we'll do very fancy housing up there. We could also turn this into an avenue later on. We'll see. And just to have these things connect up, I'm going to use... It's a little easier with the 2-lane highway to do that. I don't like the way that's curving out there. That's bad. I don't like this. I guess it's because I didn't line this up quite right. There we go. That's a little bit better. And then try to straighten that out. Oh, fucking, this is so good. Oh, this is so good! Okay, we may tune that a little bit later on, but let's get our town actually starting to develop. So, I'm kind of thinking commercial on the edge here. You know, that might be too much commercial for now, but it'll develop. And then do maybe even touristy on there, right along here. And then housing. I'm thinking low-density commercial along the water. What do you think? Like smaller shops? They might look like crap. We could always upgrade it to high density if we're not happy. But then right behind it, just go straight to like high-density residential behind it over here. You know, so you got your high-rises and stuff from the water. Quill's mod happiness just hit 11. Now, in terms of, we do have to connect these guys. I think what we'll do is just at semi-regular intervals, and again, this is going to be upgraded to trams later, is we'll just have, like... Maybe... You know what? Not there. Because I need a certain amount of distance here so that traffic has some amount of room to, like, line up at the lights. You know, just keep this sort of thing going. Fair amount of space in between. Big streets, big buildings, lots of space in between is the idea. And, probably just some sort of... There, you're going to connect up over there. Seems all right. So let's get our zones down and then get some power and water going so we can get started. So yeah, I'm going to use... There's actually... Oh, because I don't have the walking path there. I was going to say, why can't I zone there? Right, no walking path. So we'll see what that looks like with these smaller commercial buildings. It may or may not give us the effect that we want. We'll see. Now, I will want these to become rich as soon as possible so they don't look like stupid little things. And yeah, if we zone them to touristy, I mean, people will still go there, right? I don't think we'll zone it to tourist yet because we just need to supply goods for our people. But that is going to be the idea. That and then stuff, again, like, you know, here, let's get... We can get our first... Wow, that's really expensive. But it does cover a big area with, like, joyfulness. Done. Whatever. So we've got that. And yeah, I'm going to use high-density residential. I think it'll fill up right away and be okay with that. I'll try not to put anything on the cross streets because that will just lead to more cars kind of stopping in an area where we really need traffic to flow quite quickly. By having very few intersections, we should avoid the worst of the typical type of traffic problems that we often see in these games. In terms of industrial, I'm thinking of doing a very temporary industrial area here just to give some early jobs and then bulldoze that and move it somewhere else. I really want sort of industrial parks that are quite far away from my living areas as a bit of a green city theme. There'll be office jobs and everything here too, although until people are educated, that's not really going to be much of an issue. Kind of feels like San Diego. I was going the inspiration for this is a combination of some of my a couple of times I've been in Southern California, as well as like Miami Beach was going to be the idea. I mean, if I could literally do Art Deco buildings, it would be all Miami Beach kind of stuff. I mean, it's not on a river, but close enough, right? We will need a few. So I think I'm just going to put in like a wee bit of an industrial zone. Maybe over here we do have some forests. You know, over here, we can make a little forest industrial zone. Not a very big one, just enough to get a little bit of work initially. And yeah, I'm thinking about bulldozing it afterwards. So I think I'm just going to do something very plain and simple like this, just to bootstrap our economy. So let's go ahead and do that. We do have access to zoning right from the start, which is nice. So, boom, something like that. We grab the district tool, and we just go and brush as much along the streets as we can, hopefully. Thump and thump. And then tell you that you are a foresty area, which will be nice, not too polluting. And yeah, people will have to travel a little bit to get to and from work, but I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. So let's go ahead and get some piping down here. With the curbs, it's going to be, you know, a little hard to get the optimal and ideal piping distances, but as long as everything is covered, I'm a little worried about that little spot there. So hopefully we don't run out of money. We do have to set up our services, which is really going to be the killer. Now, in terms of water, that is going to be tricky. So water appears to be flowing that way, so we're going to have to put our sewage outflow there. We can use the eco water outlet to make things a little bit less poopy right from the start, and I guess I will. I'll put it there. We'll probably move it further down later on. But there we go. So we've got some outflow there. We don't have the full water treatment plant, but hopefully it'll be okay. And we'll get a water input way over here, as far away as possible, and hope that there's no wonky backflow. In terms of power, I think we're going to start with solar right away. Now, solar power does have a bit of a noise radius, you know, the transformer hum, but it's tiny, tiny, tiny. I can probably put it up near the farming area or something like that. That's going to be okay. Here, somewhere right over here. Done. Fairly expensive to put down early on, but I think it's going to be okay. We'll run some power to somewhere like that, and we'll be running some power to somewhere over here. We'll be filling this area a little bit more. Probably are going to be a little light on the residential, although we can do the other side of the road still. That's going to be a fine start. We will need a little bit of health services. I'm going to get one here. I'm going to get a police station right here. I'm going to get our one and only fire station quite near the industrial area because it's much more likely to have fire problems. So we're going to put that right there. It'll also connect that area of the power. Okay. You have more solar options? Are there? There's a solar updraft tower. We'll start with this. It's going to be fine. Oh, I'm going to have to run power out to our water pumps. There. Apparently they decided to grow here first. And then to there. and these guys should all start to interconnect. Okay, let's let that go.